Okay, you guys, here's your review of your conics for chapter 9. I'm just looking, honestly, all I'm doing is I'm doing you guys a favor because I'm just re-looking at all of my notes, which are the notes that I gave you. So if it takes me a moment, it's just because I'm rereading them to see what I want to kind of summarize for you all. So technically you could do it, but I'll do it for you. So I'm just going to do on this video is just going to be circles and parabolas because I figured I'd break it up for you guys. Okay, so just to review. And a lot of them I'm going to do when I'm doing the review. I'm going to review it with the translation because for many of them, obviously, besides circle, you do the translation. To do the translation, you have to do it at the origin. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. So your standard form of your circle, even with the shift, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So obviously we want to be aware of that, where we all know the center is the HK. And I told you, yes, technically both of them are opposites. So if I put a 3, 5, then it's a -3 and a -5. And I'll do a quick example of each. And remember, your radius is just R. Okay? You could say if it's at the origin, which it should make sense because if I sub in 0, if it's at the origin, it's x squared plus y squared equals r squared, right? We don't have anything there. Now, you have to make sure, again, these are the standard forms. So there is a difference. So standard form for your circle are both of these. Really this, but obviously if I put a 0 in, then it's the bottom one. So we could say this is your standard form, as you remember me constantly saying. So what does that mean? It means for a circle, I don't know why I'm writing that again, no denominator. You cannot have a denominator for a circle. And if we want to write ourselves a note, the radius, which is what it equals, will be a number greater than or equal to 1, right? We can have it at 1 or we can have 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever are all of these numbers. But, for the other ones, it has to equal 1. So that would be what it's at the center. Okay, so the radius has to equal 1. So obviously, if this guy does not equal 1, you would divide. Perfect example would be, so like I said, I'm just looking through the notes, so if the video is a little longer, sorry, let's see if I have any that I shifted. No, so just so you guys see a quick little example, I'm not going to finish the, well, we'll see. So if I did, I should have changed my numbers, but it's fine. This equals 128. For a circle. Oh, I should also say for a circle, so no denominator. Okay, the radius has to equal 1. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So, what am I doing? The radius has to be equal to, greater than or equal to 1, and no numbers in front of the x squared and the y squared. Okay, so I'm all over the place. You guys know I'm losing my mind. So again, no numbers are in front of the x squared and y squared. So for this one, this is not standard form. So to get this into standard form, I'm thinking of the other ones. That's why I'm thinking of your ellipses, sorry. So for this to be in standard form, we cannot have those. So we will divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. And now we have x squared plus y squared equals 32. This is standard. Why is it standard? Because there's ones in front of them. So you can say no numbers in front of the x squared or y squared, or you guys can say your ones. And now you can clearly say your center is 0, 0. And so center is 0, 0. And then the radius, when you simplify rad 32, you get 4 rad 2. Okay, so that has to be for a circle. So just to review, because I kind of confused myself in a moment. No denominator. The radius can equal a number 1 or greater. And there can't be any numbers in front of x squared and y squared. I probably should have written that first. I think you'd be fine with everything else. It's always your opposite numbers. So if I had given you guys, I'll just do one more example of this. X plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 4. And I ask you, what's your center? What's your radius? Opposite of a positive, so negative. Opposite of a negative, so positive. And the radius is 2 because it's the square root. So the other one I want to do is writing the equation, and then we'll be done with circles. So the other type of question I can ask you guys to review for circles, easy writing equation if I give you the center and the radius. That's easy. But here would be a question if I say, write the equation of a circle, center at, we'll say 5, negative 2, and passes through the point 7, 3. Okay, so if I give you guys this question, what we do to start is you start by writing your center. Okay, so I'm going to go x opposite, so minus 5 squared plus parentheses y plus 2 squared equals, to find the radius, even though you have these in your notes, you want to substitute the other point into the x and y. Okay, so let's do so. So the other point, which is 7, 3. So I'm going to put a 7. I'm going to put a 3. 7 minus 5, 2 squared. 4 plus 3 plus 2, 5. 5 squared, 25. Now, remember, this is 29, which equals r squared, and the formula is in form of r squared. So you stop there and you put your number, and that is your equation. And that's it for circles. I don't really have anything else for circles. So that's pretty much all you guys have. Again, if you need more questions, you are going to have to Google, because I'm doing you all a favor. All right, so give me 1 second. Let's go on to parabola. Okay, parabola, there's a little bit more, so it might take me a few more moments to see what notes I want to give you. So for our parabola, you should, I did a shift over here. We should realize for the parabola, you have two forms, whether, I'm just going to say not at the origin for one moment. Actually, it doesn't even matter because if you sub in 0. So if you guys remember, we can do x minus h, I can do a squared, equals the 4py minus k. Okay, and if it is a x squared, you should know, so I'm just going to give yourself a note, if it's an x squared, it's either up or it's down. Okay? And then obviously down if it's negative, positive, and again, you know all that when it comes into play. Remember, your focus is here. It is eating the focus, and the directrix, so I'll just keep it there. The directrix is there, so this is your directrix. Obviously, if you can also do y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. And since it's a y squared, you're going to go right or you're going to go left. Again, you're eating the focus, which remember your focus is the same as the vertex. And then this is your directrix, so it's going to be a horizontal line this time. And then remember, your vertex, we can write the little note, is the HK, but be careful. HK, left to right. HK, you guys are looking right to left. If you can try to remember your focus, we can say the focus, the coordinate, if you guys remember this, I kind of gave you a hint, is, remember how I wrote where P is next to? This is a hint for you. So in this problem, your focus, since P is next to the Y, your focus would be the Y. Since P is next to your X, remember for this problem, your focus is the X coordinate. And then the other thing we can write down is your directrix. Remember, so focus is, remember, a point. Your directrix is a line. And we can say the directrix, remember, is always opposite the focus value, right? But it uses the same coordinate, opposite the focus value, but the same coordinate. Meaning this one, since this isn't a y, it is a y, but it's the opposite value. Meaning since this is in the x, D. Since this is in the x, it's an x, but it's the opposite value. And there are your two for finding your focus and your directrix. Let me just take a little quick skim at my notes if there's anything else I want to kind of talk to you guys about. Remember, P is always the absolute. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to do just a couple of examples for you all. Okay, just make sure you guys remember, another thing I'll just jot down, is it must be in standard form. And for us, for doing standard form, we want it to be like x squared equals or a y squared equals. We want it to look like that. That's going to be your standard form. You should clearly be able to know when you have a parabola. You have a parabola when we can say this, 1 is squared, right? If you have an x that's squared or you have the y that's squared, only 1. So let me just double check the notes, what else I want to kind of just talk about before I give you guys an example. And I'm going to do your example of in the shifted form, because obviously the shifted form I have to get to your original. All right, so let's do an example or two, and then we'll be done with your parabola review. All right. So for example, for the parabola, I'm not gonna do like, where I do both of them. If I ask you guys to find your vertex, focus, and directrix, and you should know how to sketch, but whatever. Okay, so here's your first one. We'll say y plus 1 squared equals 20, and then x plus 3. Okay, so again, the reason I'm doing it like this is because we're going to have to go back to the origin, and if I gave you the origin, then it should be fine. So I'm not writing your steps out for this. You should have them if you need them. Your first thing you want to do, remember, is to rewrite before a shift. So if I rewrite before my shift, it would be y squared equals 20x. Okay, then first step. Then your second step is we want to find all of our values. So we know what to do, and this is if it was at the origin. So now I'm reviewing your origin notes. Remember we wrote y squared equals, always fill in 4p. Remember we always wanted that, the 4px. So then when we're solving, we look here, 20 equals 4p. So P is 5. So now the question is, okay, so we have for the original, or for, sorry, your origin, your vertex is 0, 0. My focus, remember, so P is next to the X, so P is 5, 0. Directrix is still an X, but it's your opposite, so -5. Now from there, okay, from there, you guys are doing your shift. And how much are you shifting it? Well, go back to the original. What was the original vertex? Remember, X comes first. So be visual. Look, -3, -1. So you're shifting everybody -3, -1, -3, -1, and you want the X, so -3. Focus, 5 minus 3, so focus is 2, -1. Directrix is X equals -8. And when I ask you guys to sketch, so we have -3, -1, vertex, focus is 2, directrix we could say is here, and you guys are looking like that. Okay, so remember you guys should know how to do that. I'm just trying to see. I'm going to do one other thing for you all. Okay, so that's if I ask you to find them. Obviously, the other one's the other one. I'm not doing that one. But the other one I will do is writing your equations, and then we're done. Okay, so I know it's a lot, but I'm trying to get all the stuff in. You guys obviously can go ahead in the video and, you know, whatever. All right, so there's two that we're going to do. I'm going to do the writing the equation. Because, again, all of this should be on your Khan Academy, and all of it is in my worksheet on your review. So write the equation of your parabola. So for parabola, there's two variants. I can give you, I'm just going to do one of each, not doing like I normally would do two. For this, I'm going to give you, okay, vertex is 1,6. Focus is -3,6. Okay, and I want you guys to write the equation. All right, so if you guys remember, the first thing I would recommend you guys always doing is sketching to figure out if it is an x squared or a y squared. So if I'm going to sketch, okay, and unless you can figure it out without that. 1, 6 is up here, so vertex, focus is -3, 6, focus. Okay, so this is what your parabola is going to look like. So right now, you would look at it and say, okay, it's going left to right. So it is a y squared, and it is negative. Okay, so that means, let's start writing. Here's my vertex. Again, you're going a y squared, so y -6 squared equals, leave a space. Well, actually, yeah, leave a space. And then it's x -1. Don't put the squared there. Now, we all know that this is 4p. So, p, we have to find p. What's the distance from the vertex to the focus? And actually, let me put something in there because of this. It's a -p. So, it's -p. So, for this, it's 4 times negative something. Okay, so focus was -3,6. Vertex was 1,6. From -3 to 1, I don't care. Remember, always keep it positive for right now. Your P is 4. So then I'm going to put, you already have the negative there because you already decided it was negative because it went left. -4. So -4 times 4 is -16. There's your equation because I do find that these are the harder ones. Okay. Obviously, I could have done the other one. I'm not doing the other one, but let's do your last one, and then you guys are done. So for your second one, I could also give you guys a vertex, let's say -2, 1. And in this case, I'm giving you guys your directrix of y equals 5. Okay, so oopsie, we're doing the same thing. We're going to sketch. So I got a -2, 1 vertex, and my directrix is y equals 5. Opposite of the directrix, so you're going this way. So since you're going up or down, you should know it's an x squared, and sadly we're still going down, so oh God, it is a negative. You sat on my work. All right, so since it's an x squared, let's start doing our equation. We have an x plus 2 squared equals, leave space, y minus 1. All right, now let's find that distance, the same thing. What was this number? It was -2, 1. Oh, well, that's great. From 1 to 5, so we have 4 again. That was just a coincidence. So if we remember, it's going to be 4 times a negative number. In this case, your P is 4. So 4 times -4 was a coincidence again that it was -16. Probably should have picked different problems, but all right. So that's all for your parabola and your circles. If you have other questions that I did not do, then you have to go to your notes and look them up because I'm not looking everything up. Or just go to Google or use Khan Academy. This is there to help you. All right, you guys, I'll do an ellipse and hyperbola in a moment. Bye.